Good morning, CP Pre-Calc. Now, this is the last concept that we're going to go over about parabolas today. Okay, so going to go over this last concept of parabolas. I'm going to do 2 problems with you. You have 2 problems that you need to hand in today. And then after you do that, there is a review for your quiz that is scheduled for Monday. The review is not due until 8 a.m. Monday morning prior to you taking the quiz. If you have any questions or concerns about any of the problems that are on the WebAssign review, please come to my office hours. And if you're struggling, please set up a Google Meet with me tomorrow. Please email me if you are struggling, because I have time tomorrow to Friday to work with you individually if needed. So what we're going to do today is we're going to write the equation for parabola using the given information. So right now you are going to be given the vertex and the focus. Now we have to think of what that tells us. Now, number one, I need to figure out whether it is a side to side or an up and down. All right. If I want to know that, the first thing I recommend doing in a case like this is graphing both of them. And the reason why I recommend that is because, remember, we talked about how the parabola opens up towards the focus. So if I think about graphing this, and I can just do a rough sketch, and I have my vertex is 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'm going to just put a little more dashes. So I know my vertex is 2, 4. So I'm going to, again, 2, 4, put a dot there. And I know my focus is going to be 2, negative 2. Now, if this is my focus and this up here is my vertex, I know that my vertex opens towards my focus. So that means my graph is going to open like this. Okay, my parabola opens towards the focus. So there's my graph. So right now, I know it opens down. So this is an up and down parabola. So the formula that I'm going to look at, because I know it is an up and down parabola, is going to be x minus h squared equals 4p y minus k. And the nice thing is, because I know my vertex, I already know h and k. H is 2. So I know h, h is 2. Not having any luck here at my highlight. H is 2. And I know that k would be 4. There. All right, guys, so I already know that. So if I can plug those values in, and I can say right now, I can say x minus 2 squared equals 4p y minus 4. All right, so that's good. So now I have that. Now the only thing I really have left to find is I need to figure out what p is. How am I going to figure out what p is? Well, I need to know 4p. All right. Well, remember, p represents the distance between, if I remember this, the distance between the vertex and the foci. So I need to look at that distance. If you count that distance is p. So if you count the distance between the vertex and the foci, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. P is 6. But whether p is positive and negative determines if it opens down. Well, since this opens down, I know that p has to be negative. So actually, let me write this below. So I'm right. So since it opens down, p must be less than 0. And if I look at the length of p there, I know it's going to have to be that magic distance right here. That magic distance there is going to have to be 6. So I know if it's negative and it's 6, p has to be negative 6. So I count down that magic distance. That's my magic distance. And p is negative 6. So when I input that in, my final answer should be x minus 2 squared equals negative 6 times 4 is negative 24, y minus 4. So we determine if it's positive and negative based on the direction it opens. And then we count the distance between the vertex and the focus to understand what value is there. So it's either going to be a negative 6 if it opens down, or a positive 6 if it opens up in this case. So here is my final answer for that problem. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. So if I take a look at number 2, all right, Number 2, it's slightly different because I'm giving the vertex and I'm giving the directrix. So I'm giving this a line as opposed to a focus point. But remember, P, that magic distance of P, whether P is positive or negative, will be the same between the vertex and the focus and the vertex and the directrix. That is the same distance. So again, if I take a look at this, if I want to know if this is an up and down parabola, I do a rough sketch. And we remember, if I have, watch, I have -1, -2. Now, if I look at this, if I look at my points, I have -1, -2, there's a point. And then I have my directrix. And my directrix is a vertical line, 1, 2, 3. So that's the vertical line. Now, the focus would be the opposite direction of that directrix. So if I think about this value here, the distance there, that magic distance, that is 2. That means my focus would be 2 in the opposite direction. So it would be 1, 2. So my focus would fall right here. I'd count 2 in the opposite direction. Remember, they have the same distance. So now our parabola opens towards the focus. So away from the directrix towards the focus. That is my parabola. That is a side-to-side parabola. If I'm looking at a side-to-side parabola, I'm going to use the equation. Y minus k squared equals 4px minus h. And again, we know our x and we know our h and we know our k. I know that my h, all right, I know my h is, my h is 1. I know my h, it's not going to let me do that. All right, h is -1. And I know that my k is going to be -2. All right. So if I input that in first, I'm getting what? Now remember, this is k here. So it's y minus a -2 quantity squared equals 4p x minus a -1. Okay, so I have to find my p value. Now remember that p, if I think about that, I have to think about the way it opens. We know there's a 2, but I need to know if p is positive or negative. If it opens to the right, so I can say, we know the distance is 2, and it opens to the right, opens right, so p has to be greater than 0. Therefore, p would be a positive 2. So if I input this in, I know my answer will be y. I'm going to put plus 2, because when we subtract a negative, it's a positive, equals 4. P will be 2, so 4 times 2, times x plus 1 squared, because when you subtract a negative, that is a positive. So now the last thing, I just simplify. Y plus 2 equals 8 times x plus 1 squared. All right, and that is my final answer. So the only thing you have to complete for today are problems 3 and 4 on this worksheet, all right? And upload them to the assignment for today. Your review is not due till Monday at 8 a.m. If you have any questions or concerns, please visit me today at my office hours, or tomorrow we can schedule a Google Meet. My office hours today have been extended. I will be here from 8:15 to 10. I'll be on there the whole time if anybody has any questions or concerns, and I'll be there from 2 to around 3 in the afternoon if you have any questions or concerns. In addition, if you have an AP test on Monday and you would like to take the quiz at a later date, please let me know. I do not want you to stress about taking the quiz the same day as your AP exam. So please reach out to me and I will make sure that we accommodate that. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.